guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend if you're watching this video in real time. If not, sit back, relax, and enjoy. We're continuing now. This is the third kind of tandem of champions that I've covered in one video. Two champions that you can build up and put on the same team. They have really nice synergy together. And again, this is two rare champions. Actually, it's been pretty free-to-play friendly so far, relatively speaking, in this game, right? We had Bellower and Syl the Drakes as our first tandem, and then we had, actually, this was a little bit less free-to-play friendly. Our second one was Seer and Mausoleum Mage, and then our third one was Reliquary Tender and Painkeeper as a tandem as well. Now this is the fourth that we've done. I'll have links to all three of those other videos if you're curious in the show notes below in the description of this video. So today it's going to be two champions that work well together, not everywhere in the game like some of those other tandems. This is actually two champions that are really specialist in Dragon's Lair and in Clan Boss, and they are two really fun, more recent, and I use that term relatively again, rare champions introduced to the game. It is Gravechill Killer and Frozen Banshee. So from Undead Horde, these two sisters, if you will, are both really, really effective, and they're really effective when put together. Today I'm going to talk about why, but I have to address a huge weakness on both of these champions first, right? And this is where you're going to get, well, I was going to say, you're going to get diminishing, well, not diminishing, but the further you go down, like, Ultra Nightmare Clan Boss, it's going to be difficult to scale these champions up stat-wise, and that's why strategically we are going to be equipping these champions in a little bit different gear. For example, you might already see that I have Stalwart gear on my Gravechill Killer. That's going to help mitigate her very low base defense and HP, especially HP, at 13,000 base HP and defense at 892. We're going to have to account for those stats, not for Dragon's Lair so much, but especially for Clan Boss. So that's why it's going to kind of be informing some of the decisions that we make when gearing these champions out. So the other one is Frozen Banshee, and again, her base HP and defense are a little bit better, and I do think out of the tandem, if I was just going to build up one champion out of these two, it would definitely be Frozen Banshee because of her poison sensitivity and because of the base stats too. So 99 speed, both of the speeds on these champions are solid. 99 and 96 base speeds for rares, that's serviceable, and then again, 1000 defense scales much better, and 14.7k HP. So let's talk quickly about their kits. Death's Caress, Frozen Banshee's A1, has attack at one enemy 2 times, and each hit has an 80% chance, 100 when booked, of placing a strong version of poison for 2 turns on each hit. Again, so that's 2 poisons if the target is under poison sensitivity. 2 poisons, 100% chance on an A1 is incredibly good for a rare champion against the dragon, again, and against the Clan Boss. Uncruel Exaltation attacks 1 enemy, fills the turn meter of all allies by 2% for each debuff on the target. I'm not sure if they fixed this or if it even needs to be fixed. I don't think it does. This is probably by design. I actually applaud Plarium on this. She does not use this ability on auto attack on Clan Boss. You guys will see that in a bit. So Frost Blight is her big money ability. Poison sensitivity debuff for 2 turns. Not a lot of champions in the game with poison sensitivity, helping all poisons do more damage. Frozen Banshee is one of them. So poison sensitivity is a great ability to have. And both these champions we're going to be building out with War Master. That's where they'll be doing the most of their damage on these long, prolonged battles. Having all of your champions on Clan Boss and War Master is dramatically going to affect the overall amount of damage that you're doing. Even if you don't have these champions built out to 100% crit rate. For example, let's take a look at the total stats on both these champions. So Frozen Banshee, I had to stack a lot of HP and a lot of defense on her, and speed and accuracy, not to mention. So I didn't prioritize. I put, defense or HP percentage on her gauntlets, so I don't have 100% crit rate. That's fine. I think it's way more important to have War Master. She's going to be getting more damage off of War Master procs than her actual, damage anyway. So it's all about the poison and War Master on both these champions. Don't be so married to the idea that you have to have 100% crit rate. However, on Gravechill Killer, I was able to get her to 95% crit rate. No crit damage, but still serviceable on the HP and on the defense. And accuracy 244 on Gravechill, and accuracy is 244 2 on Frozen Banshee. Now, on both of these champions, I prioritize accuracy as a substat in their gear, okay? I did some of this I glyphed out, some of it I didn't. Heck, the boots aren't even totally upgraded on Frozen Banshee. Definitely going to want to upgrade those speed boots there, Ash, right? And we will do that before we jump in. I ran out of silver. Man, silver, even when you're end game, it's so hard to come by in this game, dude. I always lose my silver, I feel like, or I'm always running low on silver, and I never freaking buy silver, man. No matter how pay to win you are, don't buy silver in this game. Anyway, so speed boots on these champions. You're going to want to go defense on the chest pretty much on both of these champions. You could probably make the case to use an HP chest on Gravechill and maybe put a defense gauntlets on her if you don't want to put the crit rate on them. But, you know, suffice it to say, at the end of the day, we're really aiming at 3,000 defense for Clan Boss on these champions, 2,500 as well, providing you're hitting Nightmare or Ultra Nightmare with these champions. Before that, you can really kind of live in the 2,000 to 2,500 area on Brutal Clan Boss. But suffice it to say, again, the higher defense, the better on these champions, okay? So, one mistake that people can make for Clan Boss is they go all in on the defense and they don't build any HP on their champions. Especially if you're going to be using these champions in places other than just dungeons. Like Arena, you don't want to have just tons of defense, even on your defensive champions, and no HP, because what if you go against or in Faction Wars, there we go, a lot of champions out there ignore defense, so be careful on that. You don't want to have a champion with 6k defense one-shot because it's against a champion that ignores defense. And Clan Boss and Dragon will be better suited, but still, I like to build a little bit of HP on these champions too, so I'll always try to throw at least one HP accessory on them, whether it's the ring, as the case here, and we got 2 double roll on defense percentage, sign me up, and I have HP also on the amulet. I was really just going for nice accuracy, double roll here, and I was able to get by with a defense banner or an HP banner on both of these champions. Again, even on debuffers, if you can build their accuracy to the 225 to 250 neighborhood for Nightmare and Ultra Nightmare on Clan Boss without having to put an accuracy banner on them, it's going to be a huge kind of luxury for you to throw on that defensive banner or that HP banner. It's going to make a big difference in the survivability of these champions. Again, that's why I'm prioritizing accuracy even more than crit rate and crit damage, attack percentage, those stats on my substats. So speed and accuracy on these champions with HP percentage and defense percentage. Keep in mind, again, they're doing their damage from their poisons. So don't, just kill yourself with attack percentage or crit rate or crit damage on these champions. That being said, on Gravechill, I do have her built out with crit rate because of the double accuracy roll on her gauntlets. I figured that would be pretty solid. And again, on this champion, on Gravechill, HP on the ring, defense on the amulet, and again, defense on the banner. So again, it doesn't matter where you're getting these stats, just make sure you're on your accessories especially, you're not going crit damage on the amulet, you're stacking up more defense on these champions. That's how I'd advise you guys build them, and heck, for both of these champions, it'd be great to both have them in stalwart gear from Ice Golem. However, I don't farm a lot of Ice Golem, so I was limited in my gear choices. So I was only able to get one of these champions built. And again, War Master is really going to be the go-to on both of these champions' masteries. Let's see how they work together. Well, we went over Banshee's kit, my bad, and we didn't go over why they're good together, Ash. So on the A1, attacks one enemy, has a 50% chance when booked of placing the strong version of poison for one turn. So both poisons on their A1, you pair these two with like Kale, and you've got poison on poison on poison, plus the poison sensitivity. Blood Chill attacks one enemy. If the target is under a poison, it has a 100% chance when booked of landing the strong version of decreased defense. Granted, it's not an AoE, it's single target. Good for Clan Boss, not ideal for your main debuffer for Dragon's Lair. However, we're going to use her as our only debuffer on our team. You'll see that the waves, the first 2 waves, go a little bit slower, about a minute each, but the Dragon, we melt with all these poisons. And it's a 100% success rate team. So on Icy Veins, attacks one enemy 2 times. Each hit places a 5% poison if the target is under poison sensitivity. 2.5, the weak version of poison if it's not under target poison sensitivity. So again, you guys can already see with poison sensitivity, we're going to be upgrading our poisons to the strong version on the A3 paired with Frozen Banshee. And again, because of all these poisons on our team, we're almost always going to be applying the strong version of decreased defense. That's why these champions go really well together. Let's go ahead and take them for a spin. First, let's go to Dragon's Lair with these champions. And we put together a really nice team, fairly free-to-play friendly team here. Obviously, Scylla the Drake's being the only non-rare on this squad, and you get her from the daily login rewards after like 6 months or something, right? And then the 2, Frozen Banshee, Gravechill Killer, and we have Kale and Apothecary in the lead. Apothecary is so good for the lead, even in Fire Knights, even in level 20 Fire Knights, because of his triple hitter on his A1 and the aura, right? The 21% defense is really, really solid, especially from a rare champion. If you don't have another aura option, consider always using Apothecary in your lead. Great support too, great with the speed, just great all around. Now again, as I told you guys, we're looking about a minute here on these first 2 waves. Not the end of the world, though. We lose Kale, no big deal, again, because we have Scylla the Drakes here to pick him right back up. Now, if you don't have Scylla the Drakes yet, and you need a good reviver on your team, Reliquary Tender is a rare champion who I would strongly advise you you guys to consider, right? So a lot of this, I ran this combo here, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. We actually didn't lose any champions because your success in terms of having anybody die early on here is really predicated on how many stuns that Scylla the Drake lands on this team. So just keep that in mind. Also, you could use a Bellower in a stun set to help you with some CC as well. And you could sub him in for Kale if you're struggling, or if you don't have the gear or the masteries all built up like I do. There are other options. Painkeeper, Bellower, all of these great rare champions are fine in kind of the flex roles. The reason I put Kale on this team is because, again, he's a great poisoner. He's an AoE nuker, which will help a little bit for these first 2 rounds, but you're going to see it's going very slow. If we didn't lose 2 champions on this first round, again, it was going to be around like a 50 to 60 second clear on these waves. So this one's going to take a bit longer here because, again, we wasted essentially 2 of Scylla's turns and a couple other of my, Kale and who else died? Gravechill turns as well. So second wave in about $1.42. Again, not the fastest team certainly in the world. If I put Gravechill and, you know what? Maybe Ward Maiden, actually, now that I think of it, would be a good option instead of Kale here. Because think about it, Kale might be a little bit overkill. Do we need all those poisons? I don't think so. We're going to fill up that turn meter, or that debuff meter, excuse me, on the dragon really, really quickly. So I think actually Ward Maiden on this team would probably be a better option than Kale. That way you're moving through these first 2 waves much quicker with the decreased defense, or Zargala if you have her, basically a defense down champion. Either way, it's still going to work. It's still going to be effective. You're still going to always win with a team comp like this, but there's a lot of substitutes, right? Again, I mentioned Reliquary Tender, who I'm a big fan of, Painkeeper as well. Painkeeper in a shield set is a great option. If you need more support, just go ahead and sub her right in for Kale. It will take a little bit longer, but as we mentioned here on the channel many times before, speed is not your concern in this game. We're not worried about speed in Raid Shadow Legends, how long it takes to clear a dungeon. As long as you get to the point, you're building to the point where you can successfully clear a level 20 dungeon with a 100% success rate, then you're good. You're going to be optimizing your energy. You can farm on overnight, right? That's kind of how most people do it. So that's kind of what you're going to be aiming for. The gear is still the same at the end of the day, and your only finite resource is your energy. So here we go. You can already see we already have 5 debuffs, 6, make it 7 debuffs on the dragon here. We get the strong version of decreased defense because there are poisons applied from Gravechill. And I think that on this squad here, I think that probably Gravechill, with that 95% crit rate, is going to be by far the biggest damage dealer on our squad. And again, poison sensitivity, we're doing more damage per every single tick of poison here. It's just a really, really good combo when we get to the dragon. And here, next turn, and we might kill it right here. Nope. Okay, one more turn. So every time the dragon takes those turns, you're going to see the dragon's health meter dramatically go lower, because this is just a, was gonna say top tier, but I can't call it a top tier, but it's a serviceable poison team. So let's see, Kale actually did the most damage because of those waves, and then Banshee and Gravechill were both at 885k, and then we had Syl at 580 and Apothecary at 130k damage. Alright guys, so moving into Clan Boss here, I actually have a pretty good affinity matchup here. I don't want to include 2 legendaries. I have all 10 in there because I didn't have another champion built out with decreased defense and decreased attack. So I have him in there for a defensive lead as well. And then even though the affinity is not a good matchup, Force versus Spirit, I think I'll be okay with Skull Crusher as my counter attack. I would add Valkyrie here to just really show you big numbers, but it's not all about big numbers. It's about how like a team like this kind of synergizes together. I actually do have Reliquary Tender on this team to give me a reviver if I need that as well, because this is a poison team. Hence, the counterattack is going to be good, synergizing with the A1s of both of these champions that we're spotlighting in today's video, right? Because they both have the strong version of poison on the A1. So you're going to see this debuff bar of the Clan Boss fill relatively fast, thanks again to the counterattack. That's why if you're lucky enough to have one of the 3 counterattack champions in the game, they're great to pair with these champions, having the 2 poisons on the A1. So you're going to see, again, a lot of poison damage. All of the damage, well, not all, but most of the damage by far that goes onto the Clan Boss in a team comp like this is going to be from War Master, which I'm not even sure I have on Reliquary Tender, and, of course, the poisons. So the poison sensitivity, I believe, is 1 turn away here. We really, okay, there it is. It's already on the Clan Boss, my bad. So we really love poison sensitivity, right? It's going to make all our poison ticks. Instead of doing 50,000 damage each, they're going to do 60,500 damage every single tick of those poisons. So really, really good having that poison sensitivity debuff up as much as possible. That's why speed is going to be imperative on your Frozen Banshees to make sure she's going often. You can see 62.5 now on all those poison ticks. And again, we're going to have the strong version of decreased defense because the target Clan Boss is always going to be under those poisons. So guys, I'm going to go ahead and let this team run. I'll come back to you to see the final tally, see how a team like this can do in against Clan Boss. Alright guys, so not too bad again here. Skull Crusher put out 1.2 million, Gravechill 4.8 million, Reliquary 1.1, Frozen Banshee, the biggest damage dealer here, with 6.1 million damage, and Altan with 5.7 million. So again, all things being equal, not a bad Nightmare team, certainly a 2-key capable Nightmare team for Clan Boss, and really again, that synergy between Frozen Banshee and Gravechill Killer is something that you guys can build up and rely on in the late game, and there's not many rare champions in this game that you can say that about, to the dismay of a lot of people, right? There needs to be more good. I'll just kind of end this video with a call out. Plarium, if you're watching, right? And I've given them this feedback directly as well, as have other creators. I love that they added Frozen Banshee and Gravechill Killer to the game again about 6 months ago. I wish they would do more of that. Adding, you know, these awesome legendaries are cool and all. You know, the Lydia Hell Siren or whatever of the world is great. But give us at the same time, at the very least, at the same time, give us some compelling and usable rare champions into the late game. Even if they're niche, like these champions, that's okay. Just give us more of these. So guys, good luck with these champions. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, I invite you to subscribe to the channel. Have a lovely evening or day or morning, whenever you're watching. Guys, thanks so much. And as always, take care, guys.